Hey there.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm great. You've been busy.
I have been busy.
I looked at your page the other day. I'm like, this lady is all over the place. She's doing
I
all.
am I am busy. And then my personal page, I use it as a way of informing people of what's going on.
Yeah.
Um, and so I share a lot of stuff on my personal page.
Well, that's good. I mean, not everybody uses their stuff the same way. And my personal page is very similar. It's an extension of my brand. So yeah,
Hmm.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it. All right. So I'm excited to meet with you. This is a
I'm
great,
excited too.
and your hair is cute, girl. I'm loving the
Oh
hair.
my gosh, thank you. I am waiting. I keep it in braids like what I had when we met up. But my appointment, my stylist, her son was sick, so I had to reschedule. So I'm in between styles at this point.
Well, it's working. It's working.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, okay, so the way this is gonna work is we're gonna just kind of like get like brain dump, brainstorm, download and output all the things for the
Okay.
family brand experience, whoever, wherever, just kind of put it all together. I
Okay.
have your strategic plan up. The strategic plan is really just like a guideline. Initially we'll just, like I said, just be kind of dumping stuff on here, using this as a kind of like a blank slate for where we're going to start planning things. But
Okay.
ideally, the strategic plan is, the purpose of it is for us to start building out the brands, collect all the assets and anything that you already have in place, review those things, see if they're still in alignment with where you are now, with your goals, what you want to do in the future, add some new things, and then start to streamline. And
Okay.
then put timelines to everything so that we know exactly what we're working on in which quarter, which month, which week. So you're never feeling like, for one, so overwhelmed that it's like so much stuff in my head and my heart. I don't know what to do
Hmm.
with it. I feel guilty. I feel whatever. I feel stressed. Or you don't want to feel like like you're not making progress. So this it's a way
Right.
for you to measure results, see where you're at, if you're actually in alignment with what you said you wanted to do, and if we need to shift, we can shift accordingly because it's a living,
Okay.
breathing. Okay. So everything we do will always be recorded. Like this video, you'll have access to like the replay of the video. My otter is in here. It's taking notes for us as well. So I'll give you a copy of the notes, literally our transcript, everything you said, I said. You'll get the strategic plan, which will have my notes.
Hmm.
So you'll also get the audio, and then anything I write on this document, usually I just kind of like listen to you talk, and I write things out. We brainstorm, we write possible things, and then I come up with an action item. Action items, plural, and then I add those into Nifty, and that holds us accountable. So it's like anything I say I'm
Great.
going to do, anything I need you to do, whoever has to do something, it's listed out and organized. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So tell me what's going on. Let's talk it through.
Oh my goodness. Everything and nothing at the same time, right? So, okay, so let's start with Nija. And her hair thing that she got going on.
Yes, ma'am.
So her goal is to launch her business in November for her birthday. Like that's going to be her birthday party, launching her business. The issue that I'm having with Nija at this point is kind of like pulling out her vision, what she wants it to look like, not what she thinks mommy wants or daddy wants or what society wants, but what Nija wants, right? And so it's I'm struggling kind of trying to pull that out of her. So
Right.
that's where we are right now, like um talking to her about what her vision is for her business over the next 12 months, because I told her, I said, I'm meeting with Miss Tamara today, like, is there anything, that you want me to talk about specifically? And she's very much, about it. And then when I ask her, like, is this something that you want to do? Are you sure you want to push through with this? And she's like, yeah, I want to do it. But I just have to give her some like direction and some action steps as well. So one of the questions I was going to ask you is like, as far as all of the information that we have access to right now with raising a mogul, where would you suggest that I start her to like set her up um to kind of get her brain going?
We'll come up with that today.
Okay,
That would be action items, excuse me. So questions about her specifically. You said
okay,
she wants to do a launch in November for her birthday.
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so tell me the vision for that. What are we looking at when we say launch? Are we talking about? Tell me.
Great question.
Oh,
That's
I
what I'm
know.
trying to get out of her, right? So that's what I'm trying to get out of her. And I feel like, to be honest with you, I feel like because I just did a business launch, that's why she, you know what I mean? Like she wants to do a business launch. And so I was explaining to her, that's not necessary, right? Like you don't have to tie that in with your birthday. It doesn't have, you can literally celebrate your birthday however you want to celebrate your birthday. So that's where we are right now. Do you really still want to do that? But when we say business launch, as of right now, it's literally her coming out on socials, her, letting people know, her having her email address for people to contact her for booking, you know what I mean, and that type of thing. Like just letting people know, letting the masses know. And when I say masses, it's still a controlled, you know what I mean, environment. But right now it's pretty much an in-house thing, like just friends and family, kind of know what she's doing. But we kind of want to open it up to the community because but after conversations with her client is going to be school age girls from, middle school, high school. So kind of just letting that core group know that she's out here, she's available, you know what I mean, for services and things like that.
Okay, so that is, I love that. I mean, I think she can absolutely do a launch, and it could be a soft launch, it's just like
Mhm,
her virtual launch into the marketplace. And what that
mhm,
looks like is getting her messaging, some of like a lot of what we have on the strategic plan and some of the things that we worked on at RamCon
mhm.
is getting her messages on lock, her messaging, excuse me, and understanding like her brand positioning and her marketplace positioning. And then just really just taking all that information and setting up, if she already has her social set up, like optimizing the social, making sure everything leads to the same place. Um,
Mhm.
there's a way for people, like you said, email, or even if there's a page or somewhere where people can get more information. It's just making a system. So no matter where people find her
Correct.
or see her, it all leads back to this one place where they can see her work, reach out to her, send her, send a message or respond, or kind of build like a community around the brand. Even if it
Right.
is just friends and family, you
Right.
still start showcasing that she's doing work. The world doesn't,
Exactly.
to the world, it doesn't matter whose work it is, whose hair it is, whether it's auntie's hair, it's just a
Right.
hair, so they're like, she's
Right.
doing the work. So that's what matters. So that way, as she expands, um, we have that social proof, and she has those kind of like, she has that proof that like I'm out here doing this thing, so
Yes.
next phase comes, it's already started. She's not starting from scratch.
Exactly. Yes.
So action steps for that specifically would be, give me 1 second, I'm just writing this here, would be us starting her strategic plan. And you're going to hear me talk about this,
Mhm.
and I'm going to share my screen in 1 second right
Okay.
now, not 1 second right now, so you can see what I'm doing, because this is your document. But what we'll do is we can make a separate document for her, and then she can have access to this. I mean, she's good with the docs, I mean, because she and I was bouncing on me back and forth with these documents. Like, let me just have your laptop, and I was like, okay, just go ahead and fix it. It was perfect. These kids know so much more than we do.
They really do. They really,
Like,
really
I
do.
don't need to talk you through this. You know exactly what you're doing. She was like, oh, I got it. Let
Mhm.
me just do it. I was like, here's my laptop. I'll be back. um, okay, so so if you look at this strategic plan, so you can look at
Mm-hmm.
through on this sideline, we're talking about the brand name, brand description,
Mm,
you know what I mean?
gotcha.
Goals. What are we looking at? Big picture. I know the big picture is to open this salon, right? This like cafe type with the vibe, with the music.
Yeah.
Got it. I got the
Yes.
plan. But where do we start?
Right.
So for one, our start is to build an online platform. We can still give off that same vibe and feel
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that whoever she is, or he, or whoever the person is, understands that this is the vibe and this is why you would come. Until there is an actual physical location,
Mm-hmm.
that's what year one would look like. Building the platform, her kind of establishing herself in the marketplace as an expert in this space, getting known for that, and then breaking that down by quarter. And then like once you have your quarters, then you know what you're doing every month, what the focus is, the theme is, and then we go down to like weekly, and then she'll know what she's doing daily, if we get to that point. Because
Okay.
she might just be like, I'm only going to do weekly tasks. So we can talk about that.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
so from this main piece, and then also our why, what's her why? Which we already know a good amount, but we want to build it out a little bit more. The story, which all that leads to our key messaging and marketplace positioning, like I mentioned. From there, we'll come back to building out our marketing goals, our social media goals. We have the mission, core values. So this is where we're going to start,
Okay.
because even if we do this very lightly and we get it enough to the where she's like, okay, this is my brand, this is what I stand for, I feel confident in this. So if you took her out somewhere or she had to go do a pitch competition, she'd be able to speak confidently about the brand that she is building, why she's different, her vision, who she's helping, the mission, all that kind of stuff. Now, once we have all that unlocked and she's like, that's it, that's me, and you feel confident that she's confident, that's when we start to build out her social media, and we
Okay.
optimize social. She has her website or landing page, whatever it is. It could be a link tree, that kind of like a link,
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of free
Okay.
things that we can use that just kind of people land on it, and it says who she is, what she does, how to contact her. So that way
Right.
she's still kind of solidifying her space in the marketplace. But we need to start with the strategic plan first. Okay, so the actions are, let me turn this into a check mark, and I'm going to move all this eventually over to your Nifty as well. But
Okay.
so we start with her strategic plan. She and I can work on this together, but like you said, it needs to be according to her vision. So she has what we started working on at Ramcom, but she needs to add more. Look, we need to build it out a little bit more, and then we start to go into, okay, this is the brand mission, this is the
Okay.
vision, these are the core values, but she has to start the process. Okay, so
Okay.
step one is start her strategic plan, which is what this document is. And then step two would be to establish the brand key pieces, right? So that's like her, like I said, the mission, core values, they're outlined here in the strategic plan. But as soon as she
Mm-hmm.
starts it, then she's gonna need my support to kind of pull it all together. And then we
Okay.
declare it. She's like, I love the way that sounds. Like I'll be like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
please, and think about this. Do you like the way this sounds? Is this the mission you want to go for? And will this mission take us over the next 5 years? So,
Mm-hmm.
so once we establish the key brand pieces, then we establish the brand messaging.
Okay.
Okay. And then once we have the brand messaging done, then we optimize for social platform building. Okay. Now we're talking, we say November. When's her birthday?
November 3rd.
So we're at August, September, October. So if we work through, and I'll build a timeline to this August, even if we just do this piece in August, this piece in August, we can, and then the other two pieces can be done in September. Again, not rushing, but giving us
Right.
space, because you when you do this kind of work, you need space to kind of like, I mean, even if, like for me, even when like I have like, so one of our other mastermind members, she's just thinking of the brand name. And it's like, you're gonna
Mhm.
need weeks to walk around the house and say it. Because what if you
So-
hate, you know what I mean? You know what it's like. It's like naming a baby. Like
Yes,
you don't want to make a decision in a weekend. So we want to keep
absolutely.
it airy enough so she doesn't feel
Mhm.
stressed and she can kind of pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down without that pressure. Um, so here we optimize here, and then we build out the soft launch. Okay, and now that looks like social posts, whatever the activity is going to be. I mean, I have tons of ideas, but I
Mhm.
can't. Well, you and I can come up with what we want, but it's all about her, you know.
Right. Yep.
Um, and when I say build out the soft launch, it's like,
Mhm.
what does that process look like? Like you said, people go somewhere and they have a central place to contact her. All that
Mhm.
is part of the soft launch. So like what
Mhm.
does that funnel outward experience look like? When do we
Okay.
start it? What is the timeline? All that kind of stuff is building out the launch. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I'll put funnel here because I know the names. Okay. So how does this look?
This looks great. I am very much a organized, like plan, like what's the next step person. So this helps me. It helps me to help her, right? Like, um, one when it's all in my head and I'm having a conversation with her, that's one thing. But if I can point to something and show her a document and say, this is what we need to do, I think it may translate better for
Absolutely.
her as well as myself.
Mm.
So this is good.
Yeah. So this is just the start of us trying to pull it together and organize it. And like I said, I'll make a copy of this and then she'll have her own strategic doc and then you'll have your,
Perfect.
okay.
Perfect. I love it.
All right. So
Um,
this feels like a good start for her. Now, what else
mhm.
we got?
So for me, I am so the business has been launched, right? Business has been launched. I am receiving customer inquiries. I for me, I think my biggest thing is
This is the event planning. Are we talking about event planning?
correct. Yes, yes, yes. That's what
Tell
I'm
me about
talking
tell
through.
me about your event planning ecosystem. So tell me where your customers are coming from, website, social, like tell me like just give me an overlay of like what you have in place.
Okay, so currently I'm gonna back up a little bit and say that so my initial launch and service being offered was more event management and coordinating versus planning.
Okay.
Um, but I'm finding that the people really want the planning aspect that I was trying to stay away from, but whatever.
So you
I
you were like, I'll be the person once we get there and make it look amazing.
Yes,
Now they're like,
that's who I
help me find a venue and
right,
things. Got it.
correct. Um, so I had this, I've been doing it for the community. I started as a community advocate. Been doing it for the community for like the past 10 years. So that looks like, you know, managing community events, you know, being the go-between between vendors, coordinating volunteers, you know what I mean, things like that for community events, for nonprofits, for churches. That's what I was doing just on a volunteer basis for like the last 10 years. And so I decided to turn it into a business. But for my clients are my community. They're all organic relationships, people that I have, you know, met and have a relationship with.
Mhm.
And now that I started the business, it's important for me to continue that work. Um, but also I want to kind of expand a little bit.
Mhm.
but not too far. So I'm just trying to figure out what that looks like when it comes to sharing what I do and kind of marketing and, you know what I mean, things like that. Because what I don't want is a bunch of random people. I don't want to work with random people. I want to work with people that are that I have some type of connection with, some type of maybe 6 degrees of separation, you know what I mean, type of situation is as far as I want to go. Like I just don't want to deal with random people. I don't like people, and I know this sounds absolutely crazy. For the longest time, I never started a business. I've had a million business ideas, but I've never pursued any of them because one, I'm a bit of an introvert and I don't like people. So I try to keep all of my stuff, you know what I mean, contained. But I've grown out of that, and I understand that that's just not it's not feasible. I do have to grow, and I am growing out of it. But yeah, I kind of want to keep my clientele more controlled, more of a smaller audience of people. So with that being said, is I'm struggling with what that looks like as far as marketing. Like when I don't necessarily want to market. I want to show what I'm doing and show the work that's being done and the impact that I'm having, but not necessarily soliciting for clients. A lot of I don't when I say that, it sounds weird, but I don't necessarily want to solicit for clients. I just want to show what's being done, if that makes sense.
It does.
So we launched the business, right? So I have I'm in the process of having a website created. But I have a Canva, Canva website attached to the domain at this point.
Okay. Okay.
I have my business phone number. I currently don't I'm using my home address. I don't have a business address associated with Mitchem services. I have my Google Workspace, so I have a legitimate, email address and things of that nature. That's already established. I have
Established as corporate. What's the corporate structure?
LLC.
Okay.
I have business bank account. I have business socials. I have business. What else do I have? I have like Square, PayPal, Venmo, all those things. What else? I'm trying to think of what else I could tell you that we've already done.
Sounds good. Sounds like you're in the perfect. You
I
got
have,
everything.
yeah, I have some marketing stuff like what do you like? I can't look rack cards. I have a retractable banner. I have like an acrylic sign with like QR codes to all of my payment stuff. Oh, I got a lot. I got quite a bit.
Yeah, it looks like you do. So tell me the vision for how busy you want to be. So we can look at that in regards to financial, or we can look at that in regards to number of clients you want to take on.
Okay. So, I'm at a space now where I'm trying to figure that out. I'm struggling with that, right? So, I have been awarded a project with a client that's going to be an 18-month project, but I don't know the scope of the project yet because he doesn't know, right? So it's like we were awarded the project, and I think he's still waiting to get because he's like going to be the community event coordinator. And then I'm coming in and actually, planning the events and doing that type of thing. So we're still waiting to get the scope of that, which kind of has me in a chokehold because I have a lot of clients in wait right now because he was my primary, like my first client, my initial client. And so I'm trying to wait on him to give me what the scope of work looks like so I can determine what else I can take on, right? But I do want to, as far as financially, I do want to have a steady flow of income coming in. What that looks like, I don't know. The first goal I need is $500 to pay for this class, right? So I need to be making at least, you know what I mean, $500 a month, right? But I'm having an issue with pricing, right? Pricing my services and what that looks like, right? And so I have come up with I have like I also have like a proposal. I didn't tell you that. So I have like a proposal where I list proposals where I list services and stuff like that. So right now I'm at $50 an hour is what I came up with. As I start talking to clients, I don't know if hourly is going to be the best way for me to go, or should I just, have like flat rates for certain things?
Mhm.
I'm struggling in that area.
Just need to see. I'm putting on here what I need you to share with me, because I need to look
Okay.
at what you're doing, like what's in the
Mhm.
proposal. I don't know all the things that you offer, so I want to look at that, because my thing is I don't really, I mean, hourly rates can work depending on the
Mhm.
scope of the work, but
Mhm.
typically, in my experience with event planning or anything that's like a service base, we really
Mhm.
want to price it as a whole.
Mhm.
Only reason,
Mhm.
and again, this is just me just talking, not seeing what you're already doing and not seeing what you already have in place, but it's like I want you to plan. I'm gonna have a corporate event, right?
Mhm. Right.
And you tell me it's an hourly rate or something like that, or it's a la carte, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh well, I want you to be there and do all the things, but
Mhm.
line item 48 that says you actually roll out the cake and have the team, or you organize the team to come in with the flares to
Mhm.
announce our new partner or whatever. We're going to take that off because that was $48 or that was another $300. I'll just do that myself.
Yeah. And we
You
don't
see
want to
what I'm
get into the
saying? We
weeds
ain't
with
doing
all of
that.
that.
We're not doing that.
Right.
It's like, no,
Yeah.
I've organized the event. You are not going to talk to the staff. I'm talking to the staff because that's my
Right.
job. So when people start to look at certain breakdowns of services, it's like, oh, well, what happens if we just do that ourselves? Well, we can just take that.
Mm.
It's really,
Mhm.
and then you're like, like,
That's
how
a
about,
great point. That's a great point.
you know what I mean? It's like, no,
Yeah.
we're not about to start doing that, because now,
Right.
and then it can compromise the event as a whole, because if it always like, oh, I have someone on my team that can do all these things. So how much without all this?
Mhm.
When you're the one with
Mhm.
the vision, you know they need all these things in order to get to the outcome that they told you they wanted, that you say
Correct.
promise. It's your brand on the line. So in
Correct.
order for us to get to the end of this glorious experience, these are the things that you know they need. But if they start nitpicking, so it's like you're selling them the full experience, as opposed to, of course, there's add-ons.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
To bring in a videographer. Do you need help with finding your photographer? Do you need help with your meal planning or finding the venue? Those could be add-ons, like the things that you said you don't really love to do, but now they're asking you for it. Those could be,
Yes. I like that.
but that event experience should be productized, meaning it is like you say these are the first of all, you're like, these are the three type of events that Mitchem Services is going to offer. We do weddings, we do corporate fundraisers, and we do 5K races. I don't know. I'm just,
Mhm. Mhm.
like, this is what we do.
Okay.
Or we only do corporate fundraisers, or we only do nonprofit events because that's where our heart is. We only want to support other nonprofits so that we're, whatever, right? So we have,
Mhm.
that's what we do. Now,
Okay.
if you're sitting at a table with a nonprofit, the Make-A-Wish Foundation wants to hire Mitchem Services to support their next 5K race or their next black tie gala. You sit down with them and you say, okay, tell me your vision. And it's like, okay, based on the vision and what you're saying you want and how many people will be there, you would get package. It looks like we're leaning towards package 2.
Packages. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how we
I like
productize,
it.
because every
Mhm.
package, productize means every package has a checklist, has a list, this is what we do. It has a, like you've streamlined it already in your Google Suite. So it's like you click on the folder for package 2, all the paperwork, onboarding, everything's there. All your list of photographers, package 2 includes you doing photography, finding a photographer, finding the venue, all that stuff's already in there. You know what I mean? So then it's not so laborsome, to then sit down and be like, well, let me go put something together for you. It's like, no, these are the 3 packages we offer. Of course we can customize. That's why we have some a la carte things on page 8.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is what we do. And then the more you do that and the more people book package 2, the more package 2 becomes automatic for your family. And it's like, oh,
Yes.
we booked the package 2. All right, well, I got
Yeah.
it, this, and I got that. So that's how you
Yeah.
productize a service offer.
Got it.
So we want to lead.
Okay.
So the pricing is always the same. So that way, then when you look for it, you say, okay, 2024, we want to make $50,000 off this business. That means we need to sell either 4 package 3s or 8 package 2s or
Mhm.
1 package
Got it.
1 and 2 or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
how we're thinking about it.
Okay. That's really good. So I'm gonna go back in and revamp some things, because the way that when I initially launched, the way that it started, there was a lot of like um admin stuff like also included that I would do. Um, but I do kind of like you're saying, like getting our messaging together and kind of focusing on what it is that we really want to do. Events is where it's at for us. That's what we really, you know what I mean, want to do. We
Right.
were The other things were available as a way of having kind of like revenue generating,
Yeah.
activities that could, be done. But I do want to get the message clearer about who we are and what it is that we do. So yeah, I'll definitely share that with you, and then I feel like I need to go in and kind of revamp that some too.
Yeah, because I want to know, like, what are people asking for that would be a la carte? Like you say, the admin task, that could be a separate package. So
Mm-hmm.
that means you want the admin add-on. That's fine. That just means that we'll set up a separate email. All the events can email us. We'll manage the Eventbrite page. Again, I don't know, so I'm making this up, but
Yeah.
you can,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, so that
Yeah.
way, you want to be completely hands-off, Make-A-Wish Foundation or huge corporation, we can
Hmm.
set that up for you, and here's the cost of that. And having it as a separate function, you can say, well, that includes 40 hours of admin work based on our experience. For other people that purchase package 1, we typically do a little admin work in the front, but then as we get closer to the event, the hours increase, and so on on our staff will be doing that. And their average, you're on the internal, it's like that's an average
Hmm.
dollars an hour worth of work. Maybe if they buy that package, we can increase the price of the package, then you can hire somebody to do that work for you.
Right. Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that's what we're
That's the goal. Yeah.
$1,000 for the admin work, but you can hire Michelle, she'll do it for
Yes.
$300.
Absolutely. That's the goal. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's why we start to productize it, because it's like, how much is this package worth, and how much am I going to sell it to them for? But then who could I get to do it for less, which is at a still rate, fair rate that keeps us in
Right.
integrity as a company. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yes.
It's
Yes.
just
Yes.
someone
Yes.
that
Yes.
you hire, you have an assistant, a virtual assistant on your team that just
Mm.
is really good for admin tasks. This selling these a la carte packages or add-ons could support that person's salary, you know?
Got it. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. All right. That is food for thought. Um, yeah, that's the direction that I want to go for sure.
All right, so I need you to share pricing. I need you to share um any brand assets, And that's just like links to social already in place. I have your Facebook. I have all that here. So I'm going to move all this over. I have your Facebook, LinkedIn. So I have all these, your links. And so we do event management, volunteer management, vendor management, setup breakdown, business concierge. Yeah, so we need to productize all these things. Like, what does this look like? So volunteer management, that's a package by itself.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
But if you did event management, that's a bigger, that to me, I'm at
Because it
this,
encompasses, no, seriously,
yeah,
because the event management is going to encompass vendor and volunteer.
right.
Yeah.
And now day of coordinator adds on a whole nother.
Mhm. A whole nut, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Now, typically for setup breakdown, is that typically under event management or day of coordinator?
It's usually under event management, but I want it to be something that they can do separately, right? Like I don't necessarily have to manage your entire event. My team can come. So like, for instance, for like a lot of churches in the area, like if they have an event, they already have somebody to, you know, coordinate. They already have their volunteers, just the people who volunteer with the church, whatever. They need hands and bodies to come set up those tables and those chairs in the backdrop in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
They need somebody to come in and do that. So that in itself could be an a la carte thing as well,
yeah. We just,
offering separately.
yeah, we come in and out. Very
Yep,
professional, done. Don't disrupt the process.
absolutely.
But we also offer VIP experience, a complete experience. We also offer. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this, where's the link? Hold on. So the website that I see that I'm getting ready to click on as soon as I get my mouse to start scrolling here. Here we go.
It's not updated, but that's literally the Canva site that I did it through Canva.
The social, I don't see the website on here on this list. Oh, here
Okay.
it is.
Oh,
Mitchemservices.com. I got it.
yeah.
I got it. All right. Well, we got something. Like, so
There's something there.
listen, girl, you never gonna get me to be like, that's it? That's all you got? Why you ain't got no more, Miss Busy Mama? There you go. We have this. No, this is great. You have social proof. This is what we need. We need some place for people to click and figure out how to get to. And that's exactly what you have.
I know. I got work to do, but I do have something. There's something there. I just
Yes.
got to get into it. I got to get it together.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, so now tell me about timeline. You said you're working on the website or you've outsourced that. Who?
It's outsourced. I need to do a follow-up with
When
them.
goal for that, or
I'm sorry,
the goal for that to be complete?
I don't have one. I need to establish one. It's just out there.
So
I'm
tell
just
me
waiting
about
on
the
them to finish.
you hired someone to do it.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I just want I
So
asked because I don't want to say like you go back and it was like if it was like a cousin, you know what I'm saying? Like if you
yeah.
hire, then we should have a deadline. What do they need from us? Because I can help you with those deliverables. Like,
Okay.
because sometimes with web development, it's like they might need your copy, they might need photos. You know what I mean? So you could be the
And I
whole
think that's where we got stuck at, because I sent them all of these things and then they came back with this draft that was like very much event planner, like not what I was looking for at all. And then I got stuck with communicating with them. Like, I don't know if I'm not saying the right things or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? I don't know. And then I just let it go. Like, it literally was my fault. Like, I literally just moved on to something else because um it wasn't happening for me. So I just moved on to something else. And then when I saw that I could do it through Canva while I figured that out, like I was like, well, let me just do this for now. And then I just never got back to them to work it out. So I just
Okay.
need to follow up with them.
So how do you feel about following up with them to maybe set up a conversation? I mean, even if it's like towards the end of August, that way it
Yeah,
gives time to work through your strategic plan, and then you're starting feeling closer to what you want to offer. And then we can send them another document with some updated copy and messaging,
that's
you
perfect.
you know.
That's perfect. I just really told my, I just got the phone, my husband telling him that August is just really is my month of intent. Like I have to cut out all of the noise and really be intentional about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it to make some progress.
Yeah. I think, hold on, to set appointment for end of August. Um, I think, we can get caught up in doing all the things, like working the business, that it's harder for us, you know, especially when you're so talented and you have people pulling on you and there's so many other opportunities. We keep looking at the opportunities and it's like, but I need to just slow down and
Mhm.
build base. So
Exactly.
building the base, that's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Get the base done so that way then you can go running when whatever
Hmm.
direction you want to go in with confidence.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then have a
Yes.
system in place where you can say, not now, later, and there's
Hmm.
actually a system for that follow up for later. So you can
Yeah.
look, you know what? We're already booked for July of 2024. However, you might want to, you know what I mean? Like consider this.
Yes.
Or we might be able to do the setup and breakdown, or I can do your volunteer coordination,
Right.
but I can't do the
Right.
event because I have this 18-month project coming up.
100%. That's where we are right now. I literally had to tell a client she called with like all of these things. Like she has a whole timeline, a whole build out um for what she wants to do. And I'm like, I will not be able to do all of those things. Like I just know that I can't commit to all of that. But what I can do, you know what I mean, is maybe this event in March or you know what I mean, like whatever the case may be. So
Speaking of that, I know we want to bring in a cash infusion. So let's talk about
yes.
the current people you have. Are these volunteers? Are these, so what you already have on your plate right now, like for the next, let's say the next 90 days, are these all paid things or are these volunteer things? And then how do we get more paid things?
Right. Okay.
The
So
time
I
is
have
quick.
the
I know you have a heart to give, but how do we streamline it so we're also bringing in money while still doing the volunteer work that's going to be our social proof, which brings in more, which will eventually help us bring in more money?
okay. So right now I have some pending clients, right? So the 18-month project, that's a paid thing, right? We just gotta work it out. It's definitely a paid thing. I have a client that wants me to assist her with her book launch event in November. That's going to be a paid thing. I actually have a meeting with her tomorrow and I need to propose a price to her. So I got to figure that out. Lord knows.
Yeah,
Um,
let's talk about
yeah, I
this.
got to figure that.
So I got pending client, book launch.
Um, what else I got? I have a client that wants me to set up a wine club for her.
Yeah.
That's going to be paid. I literally just need to tell her an amount. I have What else do I have going on right now? That's paid. I have something pending. I just met with a guy on Saturday who wants to do an event. I have a follow-up meeting with him next week. He don't know what it is or how it's going to go, but that should lead into something. But that's just just in conversation right now. And then the lady I just told you about with all of these events, we are definitely working. I have a meeting with her next week. We just have to figure out what specific events that I'm going to work on for her. But that will definitely be a paid gig as well.
Okay, so this sounds like we got to get your pricing right. And we
Yes.
also need to keep you sane and present in your life, in your home, in your family. we need to talk about your onboarding. What does this look like? I
Girl,
send you an email and I say, hey, you did this event for Elizabeth, the founder of Impact Solutions. It looked amazing. I need you to set up a wine club for me, honey, because I heard that you are the bomb.
okay. All right, so I have to work on onboarding, my onboarding process, because at this point, it's literally they reach out, I send them my Calendly link, they schedule a meeting, and then we're going back and forth, you know, through email or whatever the case. I don't have a CRM yet. I don't have like a place where I'm housing. Like I started creating like folders for them in my Google Drive. That's like as far as I got. Like, so I do need to establish an onboarding process and figure out what that really looks like and where I'm like housing my client information, because I don't have a process for it.
They reach out, they schedule a meeting on Calendly in that first call. So now we're meeting August 10th at 4 p.m.
Mhm.
On that call, are we talking about pricing or are we just getting vision? What's happening on that call?
On that call, we're just getting vision. That's a discovery call to see exactly, you know, what it is that they need, what they're looking for. It's me explaining my services and how I can help them bring their vision to fruition.
Don't talk about pricing.
We do not talk about pricing at that point. And the reason why we don't is because I'm not comfortable with it. I don't have it. So I have to take away whatever they're saying and then go in my corner and kind of digest.
I got you. I understand. Okay, so now we do what? So now you had this call. We had this awesome call. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk to you again. You're over here freaking out, trying to put together a proposal for pricing. And then do you email them back? Or is there a call?
Yes. So let me talk through my first paying client. So we did the discovery call. I went away, figured out what the pricing was going to be, sent her a proposal. That was like the scariest thing I ever did in my entire life. Literally, like sending her the proposal that has this dollar amount on it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she is not going to want to pay this. It's good. Like, I was freaking out. I just had to close my eyes and hit the button. So then she paid it, and then, well, no,
hold on.
she didn't pay it. Sorry.
You figured out the pricing, then you sent her email with the proposal.
Correct. Sent an
Okay.
email with the proposal attached. She agreed to the price. Then I sent a contract. She signed a contract, and made the payment. I showed up day of.
Okay. So congratulations. That's awesome. So once you show up, you day up, you did it. Now, after it's all said and done, you go home, you talk to your husband, and you're like, that was amazing. I can't believe I did it. Are you A, I should have charged her way more? Or are you B, I feel like we can keep doing more of these?
I'm both. I feel like I know we can keep doing more, but I feel like I should have charged her a little bit more. Um, just like literally when we talk, because I was the event coordinator. But when we're talking event coordinator, like that's a whole day. Like that's a whole day of things, right? And then I have my family, you know what I'm saying, with me. So that's not only my whole day, that's their whole day, you know what I'm saying, as well. Um, and so I felt like I only charged her $200 for like a 10 to 6 event. So I felt like I should have charged her more money. It's just for my time, period. I should have charged her more money. Um, but that's how this goes, right? I'm kind of learning, you know.
It's fine. Listen, you got your first paying client. Like, I'm always
Yeah.
celebrate the little things. Okay. The big things, the medium things, all the things get celebrated equally. Okay. So there's no shame in that, because what you proved is that it works.
It
And
was.
that people need what you offer. So
They
it's like,
definitely do.
it really is a bad place if you have this amazing genius, talent, skills, and things that your family's like, let's go do it. And you don't have nobody that wants it. So the
Mhm.
fact that you have all this social proof, you've done all these events, you've done so many amazing things in your community. Now it's time for you to get paid your value. But
Mhm.
it's a process. We step into it, and then as it gets better, and the more testimonials, and the more whatever, it's like, you know what? Next year we're growing up. We're increasing our prices 10%. This is what this is going to look like. But that's why we're working together, because we're going to make this work.
Yes. I
So
need it. I need help, girl. I need help.
yeah, so we got this. So here's our action items, right? I have this long list.
Okay, good.
I'm going to organize it, because the first thing I want you to do is definitely share the pricing and proposal information with me, and any brand
Mhm.
asset information you already have in place. I have the links. I'll move those over. Then I want you to start thinking about. Let me write this action item for myself, because I want to process this. I'm gonna start processing, building you an onboarding process
Mhm.
with what you already told me you use.
Oh, I use Zapier too. I really want to incorporate that more. So like also like when they book on Calendly, I want an email to automatically go out to them. You know what I mean? And I want to start using Zapier. When I found that, I was like, oh my gosh, I'll mention.
Yeah, Zapier is amazing. So you have G Suite, Calendly, um, Zapier, and what else?
I don't
What other
I have
software?
so many.
That's pretty. Any other software? So that's another thing. I'm going to add this on here. Anything that you have access to, you're paying for, systems. So my thing is, how do we take what you already have, that you've already
Yeah,
purchased, and turn it
yeah.
into a process, into a flow?
Okay.
Make
I
life
gotta
easy.
go through and okay, I'll list those. I'll find them and list them.
So share current systems, we'll say apps, um, tools
Okay.
you own or are currently paying for. Okay, anything like that, because some of the things we'll discover you might not even need. Because I was just pretty much prepared to build you out a onboarding process with just your G Suite email,
Oh,
calendar.
I love that. Listen,
Or
that's what I was telling Nija, because I don't want to do with her what I've done with myself. I get so caught up in the behind the scenes and like spending all of this money. And I literally have a business that I established, and I've been paying for a virtual office for over a year, almost 2 years at this point, that I don't even excuse me, I don't even use it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to do that with her. Like, I want to be smarter, you know what I'm saying, than that. And I don't want to jump out there with a lot of overhead for no
yeah,
reason.
we don't want to do that. Yeah, so let's streamline. So it's like, because the bottom line is we're in business to make money, and the business needs to pay for the business. So
Correct.
you know what I mean? So let's get this together. But I want you to understand that there's no shame in this. This is what we all do. It's okay. It's a part of doing business. But now here's our opportunity to do it a little bit differently, to lead us to doing it better. Okay.
Yes. Thank you for saying that. I'd be so embarrassed. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just out here doing stuff and it just
But that's why we're working together, so that we can get it together, and we're going to do it. And so in bite-sized pieces. So you're making progress, we're getting those wins so we can celebrate, but we're
yeah.
also not without all the overwhelm and the like, just
Yeah.
forget it. I don't even want to look at this. Let me just take another.
Right. Right.
And then it's like, I don't want to see it, but yes, I can absolutely do your event. Yes, girl. And then you're like,
Yes.
dang it, I said I was gonna take another client without having a system in place, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
the little thing. So even okay, so I'm gonna put all this in Nifty for you. I'm gonna
Okay.
organize this document. I'm gonna have to give you 2 documents, one for each of you.
Okay.
Question I have before we end
Hmm.
this call is,
Okay.
this lady you're meeting with tomorrow, is this the wine club lady?
No, it's a different lady.
Book launch pending
Correct.
launch. Okay.
Correct. Correct. So
Okay.
I
So
gotta put together a
that's tomorrow.
proposal.
So
It's
what is
tomorrow.
she? Tell me what is proposal putting together look like for this?
So I gotta outline exactly. So I have my meeting notes from when I met with her, and it's literally so I have to finalize a couple of things, right? So my thought process was to put together 2 proposals with me just managing her event and then me actually planning it for her, and what both of those trajectories look like, when there are, of course, 2 different price points. So she has a book launch event, and she just literally, she came to my event, my launch, and absolutely loved it and was like, I need you to do that for me, basically, is, you know what I mean? What she wanted. So my plan was today was to just to put together the services that I offer that can help her do that, and find a price that goes along with that I'm comfortable with, that I haven't figured that part out yet. I don't know.
Where do you build your plans? You are using a Google Doc to build this out?
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
share it with
Yes.
me and I can jump
Yeah.
on it? We can talk
Yeah.
about it. We can just go back and forth by Voxer.
For sure.
Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I'd like to do that because if that's tomorrow, I want to make. Let's see if we can nail this and not
Okay.
not nail it and lowball yourself. Let's nail
Okay.
it. Get the client. I don't want you to. I'm not ready. I don't want to get you in a position where you're like, "Eek," it feels so like I'm not. Tamara's tripping. She got me like no. So we'll take baby steps, but I still want to
Right.
make sure that it's in alignment and that you do not leave that event and feeling like, dang,
Yeah.
we don't want to do that. You want to
Okay.
show up amazing. And I get the whole 2 proposals, but what if you can give her because you're not sure. She said, I want you to do that for me. So you're not sure
Mhm.
if what she wants you to do yet, whether she
Yeah,
wants.
I'm not sure, like, okay, so here's the thing. So, like I said, I was trying to stay away from the planning thing. So, my initial conversation with her was about the management of her event. But as we started talking, she kind of was leaning towards, the planning part. And then it's like, well, I don't really do that, but I can. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to cut my, I don't want to stand in my own way, right? Um, and so I'm opening myself up to offering that. You know what I mean? Like, this is something that I can. I just don't want to because it just gives
Right,
me a headache.
right. So originally, the idea is for you to be the event coordinator on site day of the events.
On-site day of coordinator, and also I can manage. Like, so once you've planned it, you hand me all the details and you pass it over to me. I'm gonna make sure your vendors get there on time. I'll make sure your volunteers get there on time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can do, once you get it all planned out, hand it over to me and then I can take care of it. That was the initial vision. But like I said, as I start to talk to people, they really do want assistance with
Yeah.
planning as well.
What about decorations? What should the tables look like?
Yeah.
What about the timeline? Do I need a microphone? Should we have a DJ?
Yes, they want all of that.
Do I get it
Um
done?
yeah. So I'm gonna need to incorporate that because literally that's what the people want.
Right.
So
But
I'm gonna have to.
it's done a lot easier because you already you'll have a list of vendors.
I do.
And so all this stuff is just kind of like pulling. That's the
Yes, it
so
is.
it's
Okay, and then another thing before we close, I also want help with, because I have that list, some type of referral type situation. Like, I want to build out um some type of referral program or affiliate like type situation. So because I have that list, if I bring you on board to this client, what does that look like between you and I, right? Is that a 10% finder's fee or something? Like, I don't know, but I feel like that's money being left on the table if I don't pursue that.
I know exactly how to do that. Set up
Okay.
um yep.
Because what is her name? Lachette. What's her name on your team?
That was LaShawn, our MC, LaShawn
Nope.
or Lachelle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she was speaking to us about thinking about, revenue generating activities, right? Like, and distinguishing that between, she used the example of you posting on social media is not making you any money at the end of the day, right? So it's like, what are those things that you're going to be doing that help, generate income? So that, and then I was thinking about possibly charging for like strategy sessions. That I can host with people. So I don't know, but I'm trying to think of little things that I could do where it's not necessarily an 8-hour event that I have to do to make some money. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of things you can do. I agree with all of that. The affiliate program is definitely I would do, that would be one of the things that we do sooner than later. Because if you're already referring people, and if
Mm-hmm.
you have a vendor list and the DJ, even if it's the cake person, all that kind of
Yep.
stuff, they
All
should
of those.
get kickback for everyone you refer.
Okay. Okay, good.
It should,
We can
yeah.
make that
So,
happen.
and I'd rather that than be like, oh, well, we just come together and do one free event. But then if you have them, it's like, if you are working for a nonprofit, you could use them and be like, well, they don't have the money, whatever. So you want to build those relationships, and we can talk about how to build those relationships. But for the most part, it should be, the cake is $300. I get $30 off every person I bring to you.
Right. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Something clean and simple, just
Yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah.
clean and
And
simple.
go along with that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna start that document. I'll add you to that
That's the
document.
all the rest of these things that send me, all the stuff that I'm putting for Nifty, that can hold. Let's work on this thing and get you ready for tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. I will do that. As soon as I round up these kids, I will be back about 5 o'clock and I'll take care of it.
All right. I'll check in with you soon.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
We're on a
I'm so
roll.
excited. Yes. Bye.
Bye-bye.